The hard facts brought to you by CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Prime Time Studio. Viewers, my friends, the Congress party is in the throes of a meltdown, a veritable legion of frothing, pouting, barb spouting Congress notables are attacking the BJP's Anurag Thakur for daring to insult the Congress scion Rahul Gandhi. What's got the Congress party's goat is Thakur's oblique reference in the Lok Sabha to the Congress party's diffidence over declaring Rahul Gandhi's caste credentials, especially when the party has declared that it wants to know every Indian's, yours, mine, every Indian's gotra and whatnot. Before we move on, here's a quick play out of Thakur's remark that has actually thrown the Congress party into this absolute conniption flip. Viewers, Thakur basically let it be known that those people who don't quite know their own caste are today playing to the caste gallery, demanding a caste census. Listen in, viewers.
जिसकी जात का पता नहीं वो गन्ना की बात करता है। जिसकी जात का पता नहीं वो गन्ना की बात करता है।
Well, even though the BJP has stated that Thakur never mentioned Rahul Gandhi by name, the Congress has made the BJP MP's speech all about insulting their scion. Now let me take you through some of these remarks. There's of course Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress chief, who says, and I quote, Thakur deliberately targeted Rahul Gandhi. He's immature. But what was the reason for the Prime Minister to tweet, in other words, retweet Thakur's speech, unquote. Then there is of course Pawan Khera. Pawan Khera says, and I quote, Thakur has insulted Rahul Gandhi by asking him his caste. For this transgression, he will face a privilege motion, unquote. Karti Chidambaram, never far behind, has come out and said, quote, how dare Thakur insult Rahul Gandhi by asking him his caste, unquote. Why don't we, viewers, why don't we also read out about 10 other Congress party reactions? Maybe that will belabor the point, but look, I won't put you through that torture. The venerable Congress party has even decided to file a privilege motion against the Prime Minister for daring to retweet Thakur's speech. The BJP has expressed dismay at the Congress party's duplicity. The BJP has reminded the Congress of the times when it has gone out and proclaimed that it will get every Indian to declare their caste by holding a pan-national census. Listen in to Sambit Patra's response.
आप जाति जनगणना चाहते हैं और आप कह रहे हैं कि सदन के अंदर जाति पूछी नहीं जा सकती है, तो बाहर जाति कैसे पूछी जा सकती है? मतलब ये धरती पवित्र नहीं है, केवल सदन ही पवित्र है? अरे सदन भी पवित्र है, देश भी पवित्र है। आप लोगों ने कल कहा कि सदन के अंदर किसी की जाति पूछना ये इंसल्ट है, तो गणना कैसे होगी आप ये बता के दिखाइए।
The BJP has also reminded the Congress that their attack on Thakur reeks of hypocrisy, especially when Rahul Gandhi has publicly taunted journalists in his packed press conferences, calling upon them to declare their caste to prove a political point. Indeed, here are some instances of Rahul doing unto others as Thakur has done, allegedly unto him. Listen in, viewers.
मीडिया के आप, नाम क्या आपका? हाँ, आप शिव प्रसाद जी हैं। आपके मालिक का क्या नाम है? आपके मालिक का क्या नाम है? क्या नाम है? नाम बताओ, नाम बताओ, नाम बताओ उसका। वो ओबीसी है? नहीं। वो दलित है? नहीं।
देश के एसेट्स में ओबीसी की कितनी हिस्सेदारी है, दलितों की कितनी हिस्सेदारी है, आदिवासियों की कितनी हिस्सेदारी है देश के इंस्टीट्यूशंस में? आदिवासी कितने, ओबीसी कितने, दलित कितने? मैं आपसे पूछ लेता हूं, इस कमरे में दलित कितने हैं? देखिए, ये मजा देखिए, इस कमरे में ओबीसी कितने हैं? हाथ उठा के दिखा दीजिए, देखिए मजा। नहीं, वो आप कैमरामैन है भैया, आपकी बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, मैं इनकी बात कर रहा हूं। तो ये सवाल है, हिंदुस्तान के इंस्टीट्यूशंस में ओबीसी कितने, दलित कितने, आदिवासी कितने? ये सवाल हम पूछ रहे हैं।
Well, viewers, there's Rahul Gandhi in all his splendor asking people to name their caste in full public glare. Now, viewers, let's open this up because I don't really want to in any way influence the course of this debate. Otherwise, I'll be accused of being partisan. I've only presented the hard facts, and I always present the hard facts to you viewers so you can get closest to the truth. Let me first tonight begin with the political players. Dr. Ranganathan, give me a few moments, 30 seconds. Though I don't know if they will give you 30 seconds, but nonetheless. Let's set the politician, let's set the political cats amongst the civilian pigeons here. So Sanju Verma, look, I want to ask you this because now you can sort of try and suggest that Anurag Thakur wasn't directly referring to Rahul Gandhi, but it was quite obvious who he was referring to. So why A, the squeamishness, and B, why did you want to drag Rahul Gandhi's caste into all of this? Can you explain?
Rahul, I'm the last person who will try and beat around the bush and shove the uncomfortable facts under the carpet. I will take the bull by the horns and address the elephant in the room. No, Anurag Thakur was not talking about anybody else. I sit here on your channel and on your widely watched show and say it fair and square. Anurag Thakur obviously meant Rahul Gandhi, who has been talking about caste for the longest times in the run-up to the Lok Sabha 2024 elections. A few hard facts before you go to your other erudite speakers. Point number one. Way back in 1980, Indira Gandhi said, "Na jaat par na paat par, muhar lagegi haath par," clearly calling for a casteless society. On the 6th and 9th of September 1990, on the floor of the Lok Sabha, Rajiv Gandhi called for a casteless society. Now Rajiv Gandhi's son and Indira Gandhi's grandson is going hammer and tongs, asking journalists, तुम्हारी जाति क्या है, तुम्हारे मालिक की जाति क्या है, ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला। यहां तक कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की ओबीसी जाति पर भी सवाल खड़े किए थे राहुल गांधी ने। But be that as it may, I always say that the proof of the pudding is in the eating. You can say that BJP is anti-OBC, anti-Dalits, anti-tribals, what have you. Be it Uma Bharti, be it Babulal Gaur, or for that matter, be it Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who ruled Madhya Pradesh as the chief minister for the longest time. Madhya Pradesh has seen 3 heavyweight OBC chief ministers from the BJP, and even now Mohan Yadav, who's the reigning chief minister, is an OBC. फिर बात करते हैं छत्तीसगढ़, where Vishnu Deo Sai, a tribal, is currently the chief minister, and Arun Sao, an OBC, is the deputy chief minister. फिर बात करते हैं deputy chief minister of Madhya Pradesh currently, Jagdish Deora, he is a Dalit. फिर बात करते हैं राजस्थान की, the CM Bhajanlal Sharma may be a Brahmin, but the deputy CM Premchand Bairwa, he is a Dalit. फिर बात करते हैं उत्तर प्रदेश के most famous chief minister Kalyan Singh, he was a Lodi and from the OBC community. Now let me give you some more hard facts. The biggest hard fact is this: for the longest time, OBCs said, make the National Commission for Backward Classes a constitutional entity. It was the Modi government which, while the 102nd Amendment gave constitutional status to the National Commission for Backward Classes, point number 1. Point number 2, while the 127th Constitutional Amendment, 671 new communities have come under the OBC umbrella. 30 seconds more. I also want to say this to Rahul Gandhi and his darbaris and his family retainers who are watching this show. In the last 10 years, and I'm talking of the average number, 37% of Narendra Modi's cabinet has been from the OBC community. 27 to 29% of Narendra Modi's MLAs have been from the OBC community,
Okay.
and 41% of our MLCs have been from the OBC community. But Rahul, I just want to ask one thing. Caste census, caste census, caste census. Congress ने caste census करवाया था. You were in power till about 2014 before you were booted out. Why did you not publish that? As recently as 2018, you conducted a caste census in Karnataka, and you are in power now. I dare you to publish the caste census of Karnataka. And last but not the least, do you know something, Rahul? Today they say, oh, OBC's got 27% reservation is thanks to the Supreme Court. No. OBC got 27% reservation is thanks to VP Singh's government, which was supported by the BJP. The Kaka Kalelkar committee recommendations for reservation to OBCs was dumped into the garbage bin by Jawaharlal Nehru.
All these facts, viewers,
And 10 seconds more.
are well known.
VP Singh's cries for Mandal Commission report to be implemented were also thrown into the garbage bin by Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi. यहाँ बैठकर OBCs पर भाषण मत दो BJP को.
True. In 85, Rajiv Gandhi famously said reservations are a poison that will destroy the country and so on and so forth. But Rahul Gandhi also said that he would drink the poison of politics, and even if it meant turn blue. But Tehseen Poonawalla, all of these are unimpeachable facts. You know this. So there's no point contesting the facts. Now, if that is the case, then what is Rahul Gandhi's problem? What is this brouhaha about? Tell us his caste and move on. At least Mr. Modi on the other side never tires of telling people that he is from the OBC. He's a very proud member of the OBC community, that he has come out there from very, very difficult circumstances. Rahul Gandhi, of course, born to privilege, but I'm sure, since he questions the lack of OBCs and Dalits in institutions, would like to sort of begin perhaps by suggesting that the LOP should have been an OBC or a Dalit rather than, maybe he is, I don't know. So what is the issue here? Why is Rahul Gandhi so squeamish about telling us this
Thank
caste?
you to my other friend Rahul for inviting me on the show, for my friend Rahul. But look, here's the thing. I don't expect anything less from the BJP.
And don't ask me my caste because I don't know it. So,
No.
you know, Gotra, Putra, I don't know.
I know
any of
your
this.
caste. You're
Yeah.
a true-blooded Indian,
Okay, good.
patriotic Indian,
So-
and a fantastic journalist.
So then I want to ask you then.
but-
I want to ask you, since you have said this, why do we need to find out
Right.
about people's castes and sort of pin that identity in perpetuity upon them?
So let me answer you first, but
Yeah.
I would like to counter the BJP.
Sure.
So let me answer
Yeah.
you first. The caste census is the absolute important requirement of our time. So the question to the BJP, and I hope she answers after I finish, is will the BJP do it, yes or no? Because without doing that, we cannot distribute the resources of the country, and by that I mean the jobs and the country's resources to those who truly deserve it. Therefore, the caste census is an absolute must. Now, how else will you know who are the weakened people and who need the help of the government, the support of the government, and the resources of the government? The only way to do it is the caste census. So first thing is, this is why you need to do it. Now, let's go to the next thing. You said Rahul Gandhi was born in privilege. I don't know what privilege is to see your father's body blown up and to see your grandmother dead. But let me come. Today, the BJP spokesperson, she began by quoting Indira ji, Rajiv ji. I wish they would have listened to all the other great things that Indira ji and Rajiv ji did. They were martyred for this country. That they didn't listen to. Selectively, they listened to. So what is it? Her entire argument was put around, oh, we have so many OBCs in the cabinet as ministers or other position. The President of India is a tribal, ma'am. The President of India. And yet the President of India was not called to inaugurate the Parliament of India. That is what we are talking about. Akhilesh Yadav ji, born to privilege, you may say, Rahul. Maybe. Akhilesh Yadav ji, a former chief minister of Uttar Pradesh, when he leaves his chief minister's house, the chief minister's house ka shuddhikaran is done. When he goes to a temple, the temple is washed. This is what you're talking about, privilege? This is the BJP's mindset that you need to fight about, and therefore Rahul Gandhi will be attacked because he's asking for jiski jitni sankhya bari, uski utni hissedari. Let me come to the next point. The BJP spokesperson said, look, 2011 you did a caste census. Yes, the Congress did it. It had certain amount of errors, and Rajnath Singh ji, as BJP president on the floor of the House, saw CNN News 18 says that, look, let's remove these errors. Whichever government comes in 2014, we'll release it. 2014, Arun Jaitley ji says, we've got this data, we cannot release it, we are still going through it. Rajnath Singh ji says 2018 it will be released. He was Home Minister. Why we not release the data? Congress was bad, Rajiv ji was bad, Indira ji was bad, Sonia ji is bad, Rahul Gandhi is a hypocrite. You have the data, errors removed, Arun Jaitley accepted it, Rajnath Singh accepted it. Release the data. Why aren't you releasing it? Gopinath Munde says in 2010,
Okay,
without the caste census, we
Let him
cannot do
finish.
justice. All I'm asking to BJP today is, why aren't you releasing the 2011 data when it's with you? I'll tell you why they're not releasing it. Because the BJP members come from an organization as a party or as the RSS where they don't have an OBC or a Dalit as the chief, and the BJP had only one Dalit as its president,
So
and they
let's-
are anti-OBC,
Rahul, can I quickly come
anti-Dalit.
in?
I just want to know. I don't want to. Let me open this up, and then everyone can come in. Please let me just open this up once. Dr. Ranganathan, all that is that you've heard. Where do you stand on this? I'm not going to put any words in your mouth. You're probably going to put a few hard facts in theirs. So let's get on with it.
Also ask Dr.
No, one
Ranganathan,
second.
also ask him,
See,
does he
again-
stand for a caste census
again,
or no?
again, one-
No, I'm not interrupting him. You take my 30 seconds.
okay,
Do you stand for a caste census or no,
Okay.
Dr. Ranganathan?
Please let him. Yeah.
Rahul is just astonishing, the extent to which the Congress and Rahul Gandhi will go towards bathing. He's not just picking up and being hypocritical, he's bathing in the water of hypocrisy. He's using the soap of hypocrisy. That's why I call these people as children of Goebbels. Because the first rule of propaganda, as Goebbels said, was to accuse the others what you are guilty of. Now, let me talk about briefly 2 points. First, let me talk about the hypocrisy relating to policy. That nobody dare ask Rahul Gandhi. I hope Tehseen, with his privilege towards meeting Rahul Gandhi, at least asks him this question. According to Constitution Article 340, it is President's and Parliament's prerogative to have a commission to look into the extent and the percentage of other backward classes. This was passed in our Constitution. For 30, 40 years when it was under the Congress, the country was governed by the Congress, they did not set up this commission. In fact, non-Congress government under Morarji Desai that came out of the furnace of emergency first started this Mandal Commission. 10 years later, it was again a non-Congress government that implemented it, VP Singh, the Mandal Commission. Now, of course, when Tehseen asked, of course I want a caste census, and I'll tell you why. Because the OBC percentage dictated, the reservation dictated by the OBC is actually related to 1931 caste census.
Correct.
Even the Supreme Court has said that is ridiculous. We need a caste census because how else would you decide whom to give reservation, how much of reservation to be given? So we need to know how many Dalits are there, how many STs are there, how many OBCs are there related to every particular caste. That is why caste census is required if you want to give reservations. Point number 2. Now, Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, which is run by the Congress, on record disallowed SC/ST reservations. I'm not just talking about what Ms. Sitaraman said, that how many of them are actually Dalits or none of them are Dalits. I mean, they disallowed. What were the grounds of disallowing? That one cannot get experienced people in underprivileged classes, quote unquote. This is the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. That's why I call them children of Goebbels. Now let me come very quickly to the question of reservations. It is profoundly amusing, Rahul, that Rahul Gandhi, unfortunately your namesake, is now waxing eloquent about caste census when it was his government at the center that conducted the caste census, did not make it public for 3 years. Remember, it was his government at the state in Karnataka that conducted the caste census, did not make it public for 4 years. Remember, it was his government at the center that despite knowing the OBC percentage in India, at least according to the 1931 census, to be more than 30%, did not make more than 3% OBCs as secretaries. Remember, it was his government in Rajasthan that gave only 10% tickets to women for recent elections. This while he cries for 33% reservation. Remember, it was his party that did not field a single Muslim candidate in Maharashtra in the recent elections. It was his party that gave less tickets to women than even the BJP.
Okay.
And today he wants to give them rights. And when he says jitni abadi utna haq, does he even understand the repercussions of what he's saying, of what havoc his statement can bring to minorities, both ethnic and religious, amongst all communities in India? Finally, just 30 seconds. As far as reservations are concerned, beyond the hypocrisy of every political party, Rahul, I have 2 points to make very briefly. Number 1, as was reinforced by none other than the Chief Justice of India, that even Dr. Ambedkar wanted reservations only for a limited period of 10 or 30 years. Why do our present crop of politicians not have the guts to implement that? And finally, 10 seconds. 2, as I've said, if giving reservations is a moral obligation, and it is, then why are reservations excluded from certain domains and sectors? The prominent among them being the judiciary. Why do the judges suddenly think of merit when it comes to appointing their own,
Sure.
but think of quotas when it comes to appointing doctors, scientists, and other professionals? Is that not hypocrisy? Sab hypocrisy ki nadi mein dubki maar rahe hain.
George Kurian, let me ask you this, because this point has been touched upon by Dr. Ranganathan, and I had prepared some notes. Now, do you believe in Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and his ideology, Mr. Kurian?
It goes without saying.
Goes without saying. Now, let me put on record Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who is the architect of the Indian Constitution. He envisioned caste-based reservations, viewers, as a temporary measure to uplift marginalized communities. He believed that the reservation would be necessary only for a limited period. Now, this is how, in the Constituent Assembly debates, he framed his arguments. He talked about three basic points. A 10-year limit. He proposed a 10-year limit for reservations, believing that this period would be sufficient to level the playing field. Now, viewers, Dr. Ambedkar himself came from that section of society which was excluded and had huge grievances against the entrenched caste order. So he knew what he was talking about. He also advocated for a gradual phase out. Ambedkar suggested a gradual phase out of reservation as the backward classes progressed, and most importantly advocated for eventually replacing caste-based reservations with economic criteria, and to ensure benefits reach the truly needy. Now, George Kurian, I want to ask you, sir, why are we having a caste census when perhaps we should have an economic census? If you really are the followers of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, you would want to move towards an economic criteria. Yet the Congress had a problem with a 10% quota.
I went to court against it.
You went to court. The gentleman here who called me, and I believe you're an Indian first,
Yes.
went to court against
I
what
proved
would
right.
be
The
a
courts have
quota
been
claimed
proved
by
wrong.
all disadvantaged Indians, irrespective of caste.
I've been proved right.
Now,
Courts have been
viewers,
proved wrong.
who's communal? You tell me. Who's communal? If you're going to constantly beat identity down someone's throat and paste it on someone's forehead for perpetuity, marking them out according to their basic identity, then you have a problem, isn't it, Mr. Kurian? So who's divisive? I'm asking you, is Dr. Ambedkar wrong? Was he wrong? And why isn't Rahul Gandhi, if he believes in Dr. Ambedkar, meme, bheem, he keeps talking about meme, bheem, meme, bheem, meme, bheem. Why isn't he then following the greatest bheem, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar? I'm asking you this.
Rahul, first and foremost, a very good evening to my co-panelists on your debate and to your learned audience. Let me begin by saying I've been saying this on my debates that, for the Congress party, past is history. We are moving forward, and we are moving forward positively. And
No,
we
are you
believe
moving? No, don't give me all these homilies, please. This kind of thing that you are doing to take up time, filibustering, I don't accept this. So, Mr. Kurian, I'm asking you a pointed question. You swore by Dr. Ambedkar. Rahul Gandhi swears by Dr. Ambedkar. Why aren't you adopting Dr. Ambedkar's credo, his philosophy, his formula? Do away with caste, come back with, most importantly, economic criteria. Give the quota. What's the problem on economic criteria? I'm asking you this.
Rahul, in the run-up to the 2024 Lok Sabha election, the Congress party in its 48-page manifesto had very clearly mentioned about the socio-economic surveys, not just the caste-based surveys.
No,
also
not
the
why. Why the
socio-economic
caste?
survey.
Why
So we are
append
looking into it
prefix?
because we
No.
strongly believe
I'm
that we
asking
are
you,
also
then
going to
what is
increase
the hassle? Then why are we talking about caste-based survey? Then why is the Congress party conducting one or has conducted one in Karnataka? Why did they do it when they were in power as the UPA? I'm asking you this.
At a national level, the Congress party strongly believes the country requires a caste-based socio-economic survey.
So
that we
Mr.
can frame
Kurian
policies
tonight
accordingly
has
and-
said, we don't care about Dr. Ambedkar. It's very simple. He's made it very clear.
Rahul,
So
it's
what
a
are we
need of
arguing
the
about?
hour, it's a need of the hour. the country is going through at this point in
if
time.
that
So we
was the
strongly
case,
believe
Dr.
the intent
Ambedkar
of
would have
Rahul
said,
Gandhi is pure.
Sir,
The
I don't
intent
want
of
to
Rahul
ask
Gandhi is
people
pure,
their
and we
caste.
strongly believe
I
that
don't
we are
want to
going to come
ask
to
people.
power.
No,
We
no,
are going
I
to
just want to
ensure
ask
the
people.
caste-based survey will
No,
be
one
put
second,
in
one
place.
second, one second. Viewers.
Tehseen also does not agree with Ambedkar. Tehseen also doesn't
See,
No,
agree
I
with
agree
Tehseen
with
doesn't-
Ambedkar, and I'll prove you all of you all wrong on this show.
Okay.
But Rahul,
May I come in, Rahul?
Doctor, one second. Sanju Verma needs to come in.
I
And
just
then
want
you
to Ambedkar never said reservation should
Thank
be for
you.
10 years.
Of course he did.
No, he didn't.
Come on now.
He didn't.
Let's not.
I can prove it.
I have read.
You have, and I have a
one
lot of
second.
respect
No,
for
one
you.
second, please. Just yeah, Sanju Verma, go ahead.
Thank you. You know, Rahul, the good thing is we are having a very sensible debate, and I can see Tehseen is sitting next to you, but today, fortunately, he's not heckling me. So thank you for that, Tehseen.
That's
Now
because
I'll
he's
make
under
some-
my supervision right now. Direct
Thank you, Rahul.
supervision. See how much
Yes.
power I wield
Rahul
over my
is the
panel.
speaker.
Yes.
Rahul is the speaker.
I'm the speaker. I'll
You're
move
the
a privilege
speaker.
motion against him.
I just hope
Tehseen
that
can't find a
Suspend.
well.
He's in the
Tehseen can't find a well to
I
rush.
just hope Tehseen does not start behaving like a truant child.
No, he won't. He won't.
Yes, okay. And Rahul, today you're the headmaster. So, you know, now like obedient children, we all will do a bit. I just have this to say. You know, please understand one thing. And I think this is the most important point. Whether we should have a caste census or not, whether the caste census that was done in 2011 at a cost of 5,000 crores by the Congress and not published, whether the BJP should put it in the public domain, yes or no, ये सब discussions होती रहेंगी. The moot point is this. Each time the Congress has asked for reservation for a certain community, the Muslims in particular, it has happened at the expense of OBCs, Dalits and Adivasis. So I think Rahul Gandhi is at best a hypocrite and at worst a liar. And now I will tell you, yes, and please bear
Let
with
him
me.
respond to you.
No, can I please, Rahul, let me finish my points.
finish
Don't
it.
interject me. Give me 30 seconds, or is that the prerogative of
Okay,
Mr.
so two
Ranganathan
questions.
alone?
One is
Thank you.
Muslim reservations at the costs of OBCs and Dalits, etc. Okay, yes,
Let
next.
me just make very
Yeah.
quickly, please.
Yeah.
You are now interjecting me like some of the PD media anchors,
No, no,
you know, who I have to
okay.
tolerate.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me make this very clear. Nehru was advised by the Ranganathan Commission to formally give 10% reservation to Muslims on the basis of religion. And the Supreme Court has in 1992, many decades later, said if a Muslim is an OBC, he can be given reservation. If he is from the lower strata, he can be given reservation, but not on the grounds of the fact that he is a Muslim. But the same Congress which talks about Dalits, which talks about tribals, I want to ask them, why is it that the Usha Mehra committee report, which called for reservation for Dalits and Adivasis, was rejected by successive Congress dispensations, and the same Congress which speaks about Dalits and Adivasis in Telangana budget very recently, and Rahul Shivshankar, you've tweeted about it. I don't see any mention of allocation for tribals and Dalits, but I see 3,000 crore for Muslims. I see 34 crore for Hajj.
Yes.
I see
Let me bring in. Please respond. Tehseen Poonawalla, she's calling you out point by point your hypocrisy, the Congress party's hypocrisy. Yes, the Telangana budget, viewers, cut the OBC spend by a huge proportion. You know, I put that story out there. Even the Dalits and the tribals lost the allocation by about 9-10%, if I'm not mistaken, viewers. But the Muslim allocation went up a lot. And this is one example of you.
It went up less than the proportion of the budget went up. But let me call out the let me now destroy the hypocrisy in the words of great Modi ji. Wah, Modi ji, wah. Bafan, Dafar, Fakir, Gadai, Galeria, Gachi, Hingora, Julia, Khatki, Kasai, Chamadia, Khatki, Hilari, Mir, Dhabai.
Gujarat.
52.
Who brought it in?
Modi ji was chief minister.
No,
Modi ji was chief minister.
I'll tell you now. Viewers, now I'll tell you the genesis. I'll tell you the genesis. I'll tell you the... No, now they're shutting me down.
Hold on. He's a rabid liar.
Even if the central government got it in, not the state government has to approve it. The central government today, last 11 years, has not removed it. Let me explore the hypocrisy.
I'll tell you why, viewers. I'll tell you why. Because the same Congress party then will attack the BJP for being a Hindu nationalist party. So there, you see, there's that problem.
They are not doing Congress,
no, one second,
but they come on TV and do.
Just one second, viewers.
One second.
Yeah.
Jamia and AMU, when Kapil Sibal was education minister, because they became minority institutes, they lost their status. The matter then the central government appealed in Supreme Court. You know what? Till now this government hasn't taken a stand. Why can't you give them their reservation?
Okay.
For SC, ST, they will not give
Viewers,
it. Now let me expose them.
Okay, so
There
viewers,
seems
I need
one
I need to
line.
wrap out of this, please. I need to wrap out of this. Viewers, I just want to leave you with one thought. Either we follow Dr. Ambedkar in letter or spirit, or we junk him. But we can't have people who sit here and say, no, we believe in Dr. Ambedkar, but only in the exception. Think about that, viewers. And then ask yourself, are these people hypocrites? Short break, I'm right back, viewers. Big story, Wayanad, big tragedy. Our hearts go out to all those people there, those families, but there are certain questions that need to be asked tonight, viewers. Who's culpable?
لتحرير كل فلسطين نقسم بالله العظيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بداية نحن نكرر تعازينا لسماحة القائد وللشعب الإيراني الشقيق وللإخوة الكرام في الرئاسة وفي الحكومة وفي البرلمان وفي كل قوى هذه الجمهورية الإسلامية التي نعتز بها.
یک گروه کم منفعت قلیله غلبت فئة کثیرة بإذن الله. شما یه فئه قلیله هستید.
Viewers, it's a sight of fathomless horror. Hundreds are dead or missing. Every Indian has a prayer on their lips for picturesque Wayanad and its battle citizens. Bad weather is fast reducing the window for battalions of armed personnel and rescue workers to rescue those who remain trapped under the river of sludge. The death toll has crossed 160. Unofficially, people are saying it could have crossed 200, but viewers, we cannot verify all of that. 91 people are reported missing. Over 200 people have been injured, some critical. 5,500 people relocated to safer areas. The NDRF and army teams are engaged in removing the debris. But it's like a Sisyphean task, viewers, because it's constantly raining. Rahul Gandhi is the former MP from Wayanad. In fact, he just stepped away from that seat about a month and a half back. The constituency is set to pass to his sister Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. There will be, of course, a by-election, but that many people say will be a formality. But the two have decided to postpone their visit to the swamp of death, preferring to instead ask questions of the government at the centre. Rahul Gandhi has said, and I quote, "I call on the centre to provide all necessary support to Wayanad, alarming rise in landslides in Wayanad and Western Ghats, urge the centre to go in for immediate mapping of landslide-prone areas and mitigate such natural disasters," unquote. Viewers, he was speaking as if he was making some very novel points, some new points. The bid to question the centre hasn't gone down well with Union Home Minister Amit Shah, who has reminded the Congress and its ally, the left, which is in power in the state, that they were alerted about the possibility of a lethal landslide. This is what Amit Shah said.
23 जुलाई को केरल सरकार को अर्ली वार्निंग भारत सरकार की ओर से दी गई थी। 23 जुलाई को, 7 दिन पहले, फिर 24 को गई, फिर 25 को गई, 26 तारीख को मान्यवर ये कहा गया कि 20 सेंटीमीटर से ज्यादा वर्षा होगी, भारी वर्षा होगी, लैंडस्लाइड होने की संभावना है, मड भी रस होकर आ सकता है और लोग इसके अंदर दबकर मर भी सकते हैं। मैं कुछ कहना नहीं चाहता था मान्यवर, मगर भारत सरकार की अर्ली वार्निंग सिस्टम पर सवाल किए गए, इसलिए मैं कहता हूं प्लीज लिसन अस, मत चिल्लाइए, प्लीज रीड इट। जो वार्निंग भेजा है उसको पढ़िए जरा। और इस देश में कई राज्य सरकारें ऐसी हैं जिन्होंने इस प्रकार की वार्निंग का उपयोग कर जीरो कैजुअलिटी डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट किया है।
Viewers, it's a sad reflection on the apathetic nature of administrations that refuse to heed warnings such as these. Now, the South has been battered by a tsunami, if you remember, viewers, in 2004. And that tsunami, viewers, took everyone by surprise because there was no early warning detection mechanism. Of course, since then we've moved on and we have these mechanisms, we've invested in technology, we've moved forward, but if administrations are going to turn a blind eye, then that's a problem. But while this warning that has been talked about by Amit Shah was issued a week ago, the hard facts show that the Congress party, when it ruled the state and was also in power at the centre, buried 2 panel reports. The reports categorically warned the UPA and the Kerala UDF government that the people of Wayanad were in mortal danger. And remember, viewers, yesterday on the hard facts, I began by putting out some of those facts. Of course, the people on the show who were supporting the left and the Congress said, no, this area that has been hit by this mudslide, this landslide, was not ever flagged up as an area of concern. So viewers, I dug deeper and I looked at these panel reports, and it turns out that these areas were in fact red flagged as areas of specific concern. 2 panel reports, 2011 and 2013. The Gadgil panel report, as I told you about yesterday, viewers, in fact, the only channel, the only show, the only anchor talking about these angles was here this time, telling you these facts. The Gadgil committee report and the Kasturi Rangan report both recommended that this particular area where the latest tragedy has occurred should be included in the list of eco-sensitive zones regulated by the toughest laws. Hard fact 2, the panel report recommendation in both 2011 and 2013 were rejected tooth and nail, were opposed tooth and nail. The panel reports were never notified. Hard fact 3, from 2011, then Congress-led UDF Kerala government bitterly protested against the panel report findings, saying it would hit business interests. So for them, the business interests were more important than human interests, viewers. Hard fact 4, the UPA government at the centre rejected then Chief Information Commissioner's order ruling in favor of making the 2011 report public in societal interest. The MOEF then was run by Jairam Ramesh and later, of course, by Jayanti Nataraj. Jairam Ramesh, viewers, who has the ear of Rahul Gandhi and who is the #1 communication in charge of the Congress party today. Clearly, Rahul Gandhi and Jairam Ramesh have a lot of explaining to do to the hapless people of Wayanad. Currently, NDA appointed panel is examining the issue with a view to finalizing a draft notification. Viewers, those are the facts. Undeniable facts, uncontested facts, indisputable facts. And I want to open this up. Now that we have this knowledge, can the Congress pass the buck? Mr. Kurian, I would accuse you, as you have accused in the past the railway minister time and again of having blood on his hands. So paraphrasing Congress spokespeople, would you admit, sir, that you have blood on your hands? Not only did you not pay heed, not only did your MPs not make an issue of an alert issued a week ago, but you also, which is the UPA and the Kerala UDF government in the past, buried the 2011 and the 2013 important reports flagging this disaster. This is the only channel, viewer, the only show, the only anchor who raised this point yesterday. And I was trolled. What do you have to say, Mr. Kurian, today? Put your hand on your heart and say, we owe an apology and an explanation to the people of Kerala, especially of Wayanad.
Rahul, the incident, it's an unfortunate national calamity that has taken shape in Wayanad, and
did you say national or did you say natural?
Natural calamity.
Natural.
Wayanad.
Viewers, note the word.
Yes. And,
note the word. Yes.
And so my deepest condolences to the families of deceased and my speedy recovery to the injured. Having said that, see, this is really unfortunate which has happened, and I strongly believe that it's not time to do politics over the calamity.
Oh, I
here.
see. So what were you doing? What were you doing? What were you doing last week when a train derailed?
I want to appreciate.
No. What were you doing last week when a train derailed? Were you playing politics by asking the railway minister to step down? Simple question, sir. Since you don't do politics.
Well, Rahul, I appreciate the fact that you came out with the report. You mentioned Gargill report.
No, so you appreciate me.
We don't want to.
No. What do you not want
to? Go back to the past.
Rahul Gandhi was the MP for 5 years. Did he not know that a survey like this had been, the survey that he's demanding today as if he's calling for something very new and novel, had been done by his own government? Panel appointed by his own government. Dr. Ranganathan raising his hand. BJP spokesperson raising her hand. I'll come to you both. Dr. Ranganathan first. Yes.
Very briefly, Rahul, 3 points. But before that, my sincere condolences to the families of the bereaved. It's an absolutely terrible tragedy. But in addition to it being a natural disaster, the amazing digging that you have done, and I know this is a terrible time to be commending anybody, but I have to do this because of all the journalists around in India, maybe tens of thousands. It was only you who cared to dig out the past. And I would say, before I begin and just put a couple of points here, that I'm in a way thankful that Rahul Gandhi is not able to go, sincerely, he is not able to go to Wayanad, because if he were to go to Wayanad, what would he do? Would he look into the faces of the families of the bereaved and say, I'm sorry, I was an MP for 5 years. There was committee upon committee report that said that people should not be allowed to build their centers, their homes, their hotels and everything out here because it's an eco-sensitive zone. And any calamity can happen at any moment. And yet I allowed it. For business interest, my government allowed it. And I allowed it as an MP. Would he say that? Number 2, it is absolutely a fact what Mr. Amit Shah has said. And Congress, as I said, these are children of Goebbels. The first rule of propaganda is accuse the other person what you're guilty of. Here, aaj Duggal Sahab geologist bane hue. Does he not know that such predictions and warnings are routine? And in that routine, the government of Kerala was actually warned that heavy rains and landslides might occur. They did not pay heed to this warning. So on both counts, I'm sorry, I'm not making it political. I'm just making it real as you did. I commend you for digging all this information out. But there is one thing about digging information There is another thing about asking Rahul Gandhi this.
Yeah.
Now, you will not be allowed to ask him this. Would other dynasty lapdog journalists be allowed to ask him this? They won't.
Well,
Rahul?
yes, Sanju Verma, and then I want to bring in Dr. Raman. Yes, Sanju Verma, make your point, please.
Thank you. First and foremost, my heart goes out to the kith and kin of the close to 200 people who've lost lives in the most horrifying circumstances. And I believe more than 200 people have been hospitalized. I hope that, they recover sooner rather than later. And it's, awful having to do politics on such a horrifying tragedy. But let truth be told. And the simple truth is this. When there are floods in Assam, when there is a train accident, in a BJP ruled state, Rahul Gandhi or his retainers or his darbaris don't say that, this was a natural disaster and this was not a man-made tragedy. They ask for accountability. Rahul Gandhi has been the MP from Wayanad. The Congress-led UDF was ruling Kerala between 2011 till 2013-14. Jairam Ramesh was the environment minister during that time. Jairam Ramesh and his darbaris in subsequent years, the left also, both the Congress and the left have rejected 4 reports. One, of course, the Madhav Gadgil report, which said that 75% of the resorts built in Wayanad are in ecologically sensitive zones. Second was the Kasturi Rangan report. Third was the V. Vijayan report. And fourth, as recently as 2018, the Indian Institute of Sciences, a very reputed institution from Bangalore, said that 87% of the resorts, homestays and tourist attractions in Wayanad are in ecologically sensitive locations and they need to be rehabilitated or removed from those areas before heavy tourist traffic does untold damage. But this felt on the deaf ears of Pinarayi Vijayan. So the Pinarayi Vijayan government is culpable. Rahul Gandhi, by virtue of being the MP from Wayanad, is culpable. And last but not the least, I culled out a few numbers. I was shocked to know that only to the state of Kerala and West Bengal, the SDRF fund given by Narendra Modi, please note this down, is 6,244 crore. And the rules say that 10% of the funds can be utilized by states without prior approval of the central government. If you have more than 6,000 crores at your disposal, what were you doing, Pinarayi Vijayan? What were you doing, Rahul Gandhi? What were you doing, Priyanka Vadra? What were you doing in 2011, Jairam Ramesh? सारा ज्ञान बीजेपी के लिए है, सारा ज्ञान अमित शाह नरेंद्र मोदी के लिए है.
Dr. Raman,
why are you not being held accountable today for close to 200 people who've died in the most horrifying tragedy in recent times?
Dr. Raman, look, this is the problem with politics. When you point a finger at somebody, 3 point back at you. So Rahul Gandhi now needs to answer. I want to ask you, would Rahul Gandhi's visiting Wayanad in this moment of tragedy help if he doesn't apologize to on his party's behalf to the people of Wayanad, his beloved constituents, as he's called them? Just asking you a simple question.
Yeah, Rahul, first of all, before we get there, I want to ask a simple question. Can you please clarify to whom this early warning was issued and by which agency? It's not been issued by IMD. It's not been issued by Geological Survey. The Geological Survey actually says
now again,
risk of landslide is low.
Raman,
I want to know
it's the thin edge of
I
the
want
wedge.
To know.
Forget it.
No, it is
I'm
not thin edge
you.
of the wedge. When the minister stands up in Parliament and says that on 23rd of July a warning was issued, it is but natural to ask a simple question: which agency issued it?
Let the Congress ask that question. Why did the Congress put its tail between its leg and not ask that question? One second. No, it's all over Twitter. Dr. Raman, are you? Yeah, okay. Let him answer. Let her answer. Verma ji.
Let me finish.
Let now Sanju Verma respond to you. Let her respond.
Thank you. Now you asked a question. You can check this. There is the National Disaster Response Mechanism. There is the National Disaster Response Fund, and the chairman of the National Disaster Response Committee is none other than Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It is the union government, the Union Home Ministry, which is in constant touch with relevant states.
Viewers, don't allow tonight. One second. Don't allow. No, one second. I need to stop here. 1 second. Dr. Raman. No, 1 second. Are you suggesting to me? No, one second. One second, please. Stop shouting over each other. 1 second. Dr. Raman, I'm simply asking you this question.
Yes.
I'm simply asking you this question. Yes. I'm simply asking. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan wants to come in. Yes. Yeah.
You know, it's not for nothing that I, admire Dr. Raman. With such beauty and finesse, he has skirted the question that when 3 committees warned not to set up tourist destinations there, 4. He needs to answer that.
No, he won't answer that because that is the question, viewers. That question is the one that leads to accountability. Dr. Raman, you tell me.
Early warning was given.
I want to ask you, would Rahul Gandhi's going to Wayanad help? I'm repeating the question, maybe you didn't hear it.
Okay.
Would Rahul Gandhi's going to Wayanad be an empty token gesture if he doesn't apologize on his party's behalf to the people of Wayanad? It's a very simple question, sir.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi, as an individual, is deeply affected by this. He has said so himself. Now the point is the question of an apology.
Wow. So affected, viewers. So affected for... No, 1 second. Do the math. No, 1 second. 365...
One second. No. Let me answer this committee matter. Let us examine this committee. This whole committee let us go into this.
No, my maths is not mine. No, please, everyone silent. Lower the fader. Viewers, no, 1 second. His heart is beating so much today for the people of Wayanad that for 1,800, I think, in 25 days, when he was an MP, he didn't think it necessary to save their lives? Viewers, that's a very simple question. If his heart is beating as it does, convulsing in his ribcage, because he believes that the people of Wayanad deserve better, what was he doing for 1,825 days, viewers? Give or take a few more. So, Dr. Raman, I want to ask you, what kind of beating heart is this that forgets the people that elected him for 5 years and remembers them after a tragedy has struck?
Yes. Ask that question to the Kerala government, ask it to the then Karnataka government, ask it to the Maharashtra government, ask it to the Goa government.
Maharashtra government, by the way, sir, was the Congress government in 2011.
Yes.
No, in 2011, the government that opposed the report of Gadgil was also a Congress government, viewers.
Which government?
2 of the most important states. No, 1 second. You see, Dr. Raman has sat here, viewers, to construct a defense of the indefensible.
There is nothing to defend here.
There's nothing to defend. Then I'm asking you a simple question which you have not answered for the last 7 minutes on the show. I've asked you, would it be an empty gesture?
A statement has been made that
yes,
an
Dr.
early warning
Ranganathan,
was
go ahead.
issued to the Kerala government. Please ask the people on the show to tell me clearly to whom the warning was issued and by which agency. End of story.
Issued by the Union Government to the state government of Kerala.
To whom? To the government of Kerala. The government of Kerala categorically said no.
Vijayan's office. I'm telling you, to Pinarayi Vijayan's office.
Okay, viewers, I need to shut this down. This is a facile argument. I want to bring in Dr. Ranganathan, lower everyone's faders, because this is a facile question to be debating.
Yes.
Because it's not as if in 5 days, under those mitigating circumstances, you could have even evacuated people. Or suddenly removed, like, Hanumanji carried off a mountain. You could not have just picked up each one of these resorts and put them in some other part of the country, viewers, saving every tourist. So, Dr. Ranganathan, yes.
Yes, Rahul, just for argument's sake, I am an MP for 5 years of my constituency that I value very much. I have come to know, it has come to my knowledge that there have been 4 reports that categorically have forewarned of a disaster were the ecological sensitive zone be habitated by hotels and resorts. As an MP, is it my duty to not act on those reports?
Absolutely it is, viewers. It's as clear as day. That is the answer that Dr. Raman should have been giving. And then he can have asked 20 other questions, no problems. But viewers, you saw the responses. You have seen how the ecosystem is going to go out there and cosset Mr. Gandhi from blame. I'll leave it to this.
هذا العدو الصهيوني
لا ولن يكون له مكان على الخارطة السياسية للمنطقة. في بيوتنا وفي دارنا ثالث مرة، وإن شاء الله حنضلنا صامدين يا حاجة إن شاء الله بإذن الله تعالى. هذا اللي صار إن شاء الله شيء أذى بسيط لن يضركم إلا أذى، وإن شاء الله بنعيد بناءه وترميمه وبرجع أحسن من مكان. إن شاء الله حيرجع أحسن من مكان. وبعدين أبو محمود ما شاء الله شفت عليه معنوياته عالية، أولاده معنوياتهم عالية جدا. لتحرير كل فلسطين. نقسم بالله العظيم.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree. One tree for humanity. One tree for Mother Earth. One tree for a future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بداية نحن نكرر تعازينا لسماحة القائد وللشعب الإيراني الشقيق وللإخوة الكرام في الرئاسة وفي الحكومة وفي البرلمان وفي كل قوى هذه الجمهورية الإسلامية التي نعتز بها.
یک گروه کم من فئة قلیله غلبت فئة کثیرة بإذن الله. شما یه فئه قلیله‌ای هستید.
هذا العدو الصهيوني لا ولن يكون له مكان على الخارطة السياسية للمنطقة. في بيوتنا وفي دارنا ثالث مرة، وإن شاء الله حنضلنا صامدين يا حاجة إن شاء الله بإذن الله تعالى. هذا اللي صار إن شاء الله شيء أذى بسيط لن يضركم إلا أذى، وإن شاء الله بنعيد بناءه وترميمه وبرجع أحسن من مكان. إن شاء الله حيرجع أحسن من مكان.
وبعدين ابو محمود ما شاء الله شفت عليه معنوياته عاليه، اولاده معنوياتهم عاليه جدا.
لتحرير كل فلسطين. نقسم بالله العظيم.
This is CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narasimhan, coming to you live from the CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studios. First up, ladies and gentlemen, we're joining you with multiple stories that we'll cover through the course of the next 60 minutes. A war of words between BJP MP Anurag Thakur and leader of the opposition Rahul Gandhi on Tuesday over the caste census unfolded on the floor of the House. What happened thereafter was a full-blown war of words between the opposition and the ruling government.